Welcome back to another episode of Ask the Pastor. My name is Will McVeigh, part of the session here at Chestnut Mountain Presbyterian Church, and I'm here with Rick Holmes. Last time we talked a little bit about the survey, the interview, gathering a lot of information. Where are we in that process? Can you tell us a little bit more about the information that you've gotten?
Yeah, so I've been asked, what's happening with all this information, and will the congregation learn about it? So let me explain what is happening. So it's my task to create a report whose audience is primarily the session. And so I've been working on that. We finished the last interview in the second week of June. And so that was the conclusion of gathering data. Some people had been sick, and that's part of why that took a little longer. They just wouldn't fit into the weekend where we did most of this. And that information is being rolled up into first an executive summary, and that summary includes the strengths of the church. That runs about 10 pages. And then it looks at what we call pain points. And so the congregation who loves the church identified collectively 5 areas in the life of the church that there's some pain in, some things that need to be addressed, some things that need to be, responded to. And so that part I sent off to Matt Bowling for his review of the content, because this is a collaborative process. And when I get that back from him, it'll go to copy editor, and that part of the report will be finished. The second, a big chunk of the report is all the demographic data that we collected. And so there's charts, and there's tables, and there's graphs. And there's there's a little more than 20 pages of that or so, almost 30. So altogether, right now, there's approximately 70 pages of this report. That's not quite finished, and so I haven't yet sent it off to Matt. But that's in process. And then the last part of the report is recommendations from Flourish for the session. Here's how you might respond to this. Here's some things that we think might help you to think about how you might address this. And so these are recommendations, and it's up to the leadership of Chestnut Mountain to actually decide what they want to do with these things. So I've also been asked, will the congregation find out the results? I think 5 or 6 people have asked me this question. And that's our recommendation from Flourish, is that the session share a executive summary with the congregation in a meeting. So Will, what's the session decided about this?
Well, I'm happy to say the session is committed to open communication, to share this valuable information. I value the time, the effort that Flourish spends in gathering information from everyone and culminating that information and bringing it to the session. And I think we need to share that with the entire church. It's vitally important that we know who we are, where we're going, and that's the process we're in.
Yeah, and so I really think that is a wise and move for you all as a session, and it will further strengthen the relationship between the session and the congregation. I personally think transparency is really important in the life of a church, and so it takes some of the mystery out of this process. What the session will receive in August, that's kind of the goal. And some of the So we have a couple factors in terms of the timing of this. One is the report needs to be done. It needs to be presentable, it needs to be printed. We will ordinarily help the session, communicate the report. I'll probably be the presenter. We'll give the congregation, probably we'll show them 10 PowerPoint slides, and we'll give them something in writing as well. But we won't give them the whole report. They shouldn't expect to get that. And this report facilitates, it's a huge part of what any search committee needs to do. But the choice always is for a church, and for a church at Chestnut Mountain in particular, does it want to do a mediocre or average job in the search, or does it want to do an excellent job? And we want to explore that question in some of the episodes coming up.
I look forward to that. Thank you, Rick.
Yeah, thank you, Will.